Today I'm reconstructing my 23.33 mean. So the first solve was a 23, and I had 4 bad edges on, no, not 4 bad edges, 6 bad edges on white front, but I scrambled in this orientation. So yeah, there were no like good EOs on this, but B prime D reduced it to 4 bad edges, and then F2 R prime U solves edge orientation, and I see that it doesn't really give any like RZP or anything, but I noticed these 2 semi-bars, so I wanted to preserve them. So I did F R prime, which makes it 44C, and it also solves both of the 44C bars. So I did B, L2, F2, which sets up the trigger, and then R. I can see like this block, this huge block, but I try to avoid doing blocks because if I do a U prime, it sets up to this case. So from here I switch to the inverse. So this is what the DR looks like on the inverse. So I originally had a much shorter HTR. It was a 16 move HTR, and it gave a 23 to E slice, but that gave a 25. So I wanted to try find something a little bit better. So I did like, what did I do? Wait, I'm stupid. Oh yeah, I did D2, B2, F prime, which gave 2 quarter turn corners and also 2 E4C. So then from here I did fuck. What did I do? Oh yeah, R2, U2. Sorry for swearing, by the way. And then I did HTR, just F prime, U2, F. And then, bit stupid, solved the E slice, U2, D2. And solved E slice in 2, which is kind of unlucky, but whatever. I got a 23. Okay, so let's just go to the next scramble, which I got a 25. Okay, so here there are 6 bad edges. So there's 1 move reduction to 4 bad, but it didn't give anything. So I did 2 move reductions to 4 bad with DR. And if I trace the bad edges, I see that I'll get here, 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 and here. So I'll get a 3 move EO from there. So from here I switched, and as predicted, my bad edges are in the correct spots. So I could do L2FL, or I could do what I did, which was D prime, B prime, L. So yeah, and after this EO, I switched back to the normal. So here's what the EO looks like on normal. And I did D, and I just did B, and this gave DR minus 2E4C, which had a 6 move DR, which had a 12 move DR on normal, but I inevitably switched back to inverse to do DR. This is what the cube looks like after switching. So I did D2, R2 to finish the bar, and I just did U2, and B, D2B gives DR, and I noticed that it's 2 quarter turns away from being solved. So yeah, I did a U prime to make it 1 quarter turn, and this also made it 44C. So R2 makes these 2 bars, and it also gives this here, and then I did U2, B2, D prime, which is a 17 move HDR, which I then did B2. So how I thought of this is like doing this to get like this case. So B2, then U2, F2, U2, and then F2, L2. Well, F2, and then U2, L2, U2, L2, U2. Wait, no, that's not what I did. Let me try that again. Yeah, it was like, Yeah, so it was B2, U2, F2, U2, F2. Oh, I know. L2, and then U2, F2, L2, U2. Which gave E slice in 25, which I solved in 0. Which gave me 25. Okay, so next solve was a 22. So there were some 3-move EOs, but like this. But they didn't really give anything, so UFR, I worked off that and inserted an F prime at the start, and then UFR, and if I just do DB, this gives 44C in 6 moves. It also gives the square, which is pretty cool. So after that I switched to the... So here's what the cube looks like after switching. So I did D2, R2 to make the bar, and then I did D2, F2 to make the other bar, and then UF prime. And then from here it's 2 quarter turn DR, as you can see. So I did D to make it 1 quarter turn, and then I paired the corners with F2, L2, and U prime makes HDR. So here's what the cube looks like after switching. I did B2 to make this square, D2, R2. No, not D2, R2. D2 and then F2 to make this square, and then D2, F2, R2, which is 21 to E slice, which I solved in 1 to get a 22. So yeah, that's my reconstruction of my 23.33 mean.